Hey everyone, it's Heather with Tiller Money here, and this is just a quick demo video to show you the different options for using Tiller Money to prepare for tax time. So you can see here in the Tiller Foundation template for Google Sheets, I have a bunch of data from 2019 that's uncategorized, and I need to be tracking certain things for tax deductions, and you want to be able to really easily track the information that you need to hand over to your accountant. In this video, we'll kind of cover how to quickly get those transactions categorized and then show off the tools that you can use to help you organize that information to share it with your accountant. We can pull in about 90 days of historical data from the first time that you connect your accounts. And so I need to quickly get the 2019 data categorized because that's the tax year that I'm working on this example. And so one way to do that, is just to spend some time categorizing transactions here. It's pretty easy to just manually categorize. It doesn't take that long. In this example, I have my cafe here I can see it's on my business checking account, so I know that this was like a business expense, which I do need to keep track of for tax time, for example. So you can just start typing the name of the category, and so in this case, it's like cafe workspace. I can write off those types of expenses. This was business travel, so I'll say biz travel. AT&T, that's my cell phone, that's personal, but maybe some of it could be allocated to my business. So you can pretty quickly go down and categorize all the transactions using that method. Now, if you want a little bit of help, we do have a tool called Autocat that you can build a rule set and you can have it automatically categorize transactions for you. So that's in the Tiller Money Feeds add-on, which is the one that you use to feed data into your Google Sheet. And so I can open the sidebar, and then I can go ahead and install Autocat here on the right-hand side. So I'll just go ahead and click on the Autocat link here. I'll choose to install Autocat, and then it's going to add a sheet to my Google Sheet here called Autocat. Once it finishes, I'm all ready to go. So I can just clear out these example rules and then I can start building my own. One way to do this is to sort by the description column. So right now I have my filter on. It's not on by default. If you need to turn it on, you can click this little icon. So this will turn it off, and then I can turn it back on. If you get a warning like, heads up, this isn't supposed to be accidentally edited, you can just say ignore for 5 minutes and click OK because you know what you're doing. That's the protected range on this header row here. So now that I have my filter turned on, I can sort by the description column, and then I can see all of the consistent descriptions, and this will help me build a rule set. I've been pretty consistent about using my business checking account for business-related expenses, so that's another way to kind of help you trim down the transaction sheet to be able to figure out which ones you might want to build Autocat rules for. And I can actually just filter out everything that's not that business checking, and it'll narrow down my list. And so the cafe, for example, this is just that cafe workspace. So this is a great example here. I can go onto the Autocat sheet. I copied that, and I'll do paste values only, and then I'll just say that cafe workspace. I'll actually turn the full transaction history on because I have that filtering and sorting turned on, and so this full transaction history will just make sure that it gets everything in the transaction sheet. And I'll just leave it only on uncategorized because that's all I care about right now. I'm not trying to recategorize things. So I'll choose run here, and then I should get a few that get updated based on that rule. So let's go back to the transaction sheet, and so it's everything that had cafe in it. It categorized as cafe workspace. Now let's say that I had something on from that cafe corner that was on my personal account, my regular checking account. It might have also picked that up too. And so if you want to get even more granular, you can add to the account contains business, and then that's going to make sure that it doesn't actually categorize anything from my personal checking account with my business specific categories. And so I can continue building rules that way. Another trick, and I've already gone ahead and set this up, is like this rule builder sheet, and I just added a new sheet by clicking this add sheet button here. And then with some really simple formulas, I can get unique descriptions from the transaction sheet. And so I created this header row, and then I use this equals unique, and then it's referencing the transaction sheet column C, cell 2 through the end of column C. And then it's just outputting this list of unique descriptions that are in the transaction sheet. And then over here on the right, I used another simple COUNTIF formula to build the count of the transactions that have this unique description. And so it's just, equals COUNTIF and then transactions, that same column reference with the $sign, so that when I quickly dragged it from the top, it always started with C2. And then it's just referencing A2 in this sheet to give me the count of all the transactions that have all day darling in the description. And then I just added some conditional formatting here from the format menu. If there were any that were, if the value is greater than 5, then just highlight it. So it just helps me figure out those common merchants. And then this is a great way to kind of help me build my rule set. And so I can go through here and just build out my rule set. So I've just copied that with just a Control or Command C, AT&T. I'll add that to the description contains. And then this is also always going to be cell phone. Automatic payment, that's for my credit card, so I can just paste that in, and I'm just using keyboard shortcuts to get these in there, and then that's going to be the CC payment transfer category. So I'll just kind of look through the ones that have high frequency and just start with those. And so this all day darling is always restaurants, and then let's see, we got the cafe one, the craft supply, that's always going to be, craft supply is always going to be my materials and supplies. And maybe I'll just go ahead and add business in there too, just to make sure in case I order any craft supply stuff for personal. I can even add multiple descriptors here. So if I want to have a single rule for all my grocery stores, I know that Whole Foods is a big one, Trader Joe's. I can just add them in quotes and separate them by commas, and then they'll be groceries. So let's run Autocat again, and let's see how many transactions it updates in the transaction sheet. So 173 transactions categorized. So you can keep going through and just adding more rules, running Autocat until you get all your transactions categorized from the prior year. Any that it misses that you don't really need to, set up a rule for, you can just manually categorize those. It's beneficial to just do this as a part of the Autocat rule set building too, because then going forward, you can have these transactions automatically categorized for you as they come in. And if you turn on this auto run on update, it will have the transactions automatically categorized as soon as they enter your transaction sheet. And so you can see here that there's a little bit that's from the business that's not categorized. I'll go ahead and turn the filter off just so I can get a full view of what's not been categorized and go ahead and knock those out really quickly. And so if I clear all of these and just look at the blanks, then I'll just see how much I have left to go. And so it's not actually that much. Biz travel, and then finally restaurants. Okay, so I have all of my 2019 data categorized. I'm ready to start using the tools to figure out, what information I need to pass on to my accountant for my 2019 taxes. There are a few different tools that you can use to help organize your data for tax time. So what I've done here in my category sheet is I've added a tags column. There's information on the Tiller Money community about how to add this tags column for use with some reports that are available in the Tiller Money Labs add-on here. And so I've already installed this add-on. You can find it under Get Add-ons if you search for Tiller Labs. So the first one that I want to show that's really great, especially if you are itemizing your deductions or you have a small business where you need to keep track of things. And so in this example, I have this craft business that's secondary income that I'm not paying taxes on automatically, like I'm paying taxes on my paycheck. I want to make sure that I am writing off business expenses associated with that so that I know how much money that I have to pay tax on. And so that's where this tags column comes in handy. With certain categories, they'll always be tracked as expenses where you can deduct them from the income that you made to help with how much tax you owe on the money earned. And so one of those is here under the rent, for example, if you are working from home and a certain portion of your living space is dedicated as a home office, you can actually deduct some of your rent payments toward expenses for your business for calculating how much you owe in tax. And so I'll put rent as tax. I'll also do all of these should be tax. I'm also going to say that they're business, and we'll get to that later. So business, all of these. And so not 100% of those expenses are going to go toward reducing the tax liability on that secondary freelance income from the craft business. It's only going to be a certain percentage, and that's something that your accountant or a tax professional can help you with. This is just showing you how to get the totals for those, just marking the ones that you want to itemize as tax. So once I've tagged all those, over in the Tools menu in the Tiller Labs add-on, I can go to Create Reports, and I can do a profit and loss report if I'm a small business. That's really helpful for an accountant, or a category roll-up report. And so I only want to do this for last year. So I'm going to choose 01/01/2019 and then 12/31/2019. So that's giving me all of last year, and then I want to filter it on tax. So I'm just going to be getting everything that's tax here, and then I don't need to include uncategorized transactions, and I'll just go ahead and create the report. And it's going to create a new sheet for me in this spreadsheet, and then it's going to detail this by type, income or expense, and it's only going to be including the ones that I have marked as tax, because that's the tag that I chose in the report output. And so it's giving me the breakdown of everything. It gives me the total. This is a really helpful tool to send to your accountant or tax preparer to help them, put the figures in when they're doing your tax return. And the next one is, that's really helpful, is the profit and loss. And so you can do this by, let's say, last year by quarter, but then I want to change this to year because I really only want to see the entire year. This is going to create another tab in my spreadsheet here, and it's going to show me the breakdown by type, group, and then category, and then just for the entire years. Another way to do this would be to generate a simple pivot table by year. And this will give you the totals, and you can kind of customize the filtering and things like that on your own. And so as all you have to do this is you will need to add the year column. So let's go to our Help Center, and then we'll do year. We'll just type that in, and then it's going to actually have the steps here on the Help Center, how to generate a yearly pivot table for easy tax time reporting. But what I'm looking for is this array formula here. And I'm just going to add this, close this for now. I'm going to add this to the left of the month column, and I'm going to paste that in there. It's assuming that the date is in column B, and it's giving me these weird dates for some reason. You have to change this to plain text, and then it'll give you the correct year. And so now I can go and I can build a pivot table. I'll click this rectangle up in the upper left, and then I'll choose data, and then pivot table, new sheet. For my rows, I'll choose category. For the values, I will choose amount, and then I just want the sum. And then the filter, I'll filter by the year, and then I will show only 2019. No, I don't need any blanks. So now it's showing me the sum of all categories for 2019. And then you can even filter based on category if there's certain ones that you don't want to include in there. All right, well, that's everything I had to demo for using Tiller Money to prepare for tax time. If you have any questions about any of this, I recommend posting them over in the Tiller Money community, and there will be plenty of folks there to help. Happy tracking!